Have you ever wondered what your dream scenario would cost and all of the fees that would be involved? I'm taking you through real-world purchase scenarios with the help of experts. We have a 30-plus year mortgage professional, Beverly Fenn, with Prime Lending, helping us strategize and run numbers. And we're starting this off with a very relatable situation, a first-time homebuyer situation, getting into one of the most affordable single-family homes here in the Denver metro area. So here is the subject property in question. It's at the entry level of what it takes to get into a single family home here in the Denver metro area. And I chose this one because a long driveway, I think people will be surprised how much you can afford. This looks like you could fit 2 cars here. And without the input of an HOA, you can really get creative here with extending the driveway, making it wider, or I believe you could even do a pass-through garage where you add a garage on the backside and you have additional space to be working on your cars and utilizing the full backyard. And that's exactly why I picked this one, because I think this one is a good happy medium where there is room for improvement, but it's at a place where I think a family would feel very comfortable moving into this right away, starting life in this.
Really great to be here today and to really share with you and your clients all about home financing. So what we're going to start with is looking at just a single family home in the Adams County area, and it's a purchase price of $400,000. So I wanted to start with first talking about down payment assistance and looking at different components to the loan itself. One of the big things that we're showcasing here is with a $400,000 purchase price, and using proceeds of a silent second, which is called a DPA, down payment assistance, you can get into a house without any seller concessions of about $10,000. And the seller can contribute up to a certain amount. With this particular down payment assistance, they want to come to closing with a minimum of $1,000. Looking at here again with the $400,000, is you're looking at a down payment of 3.5%, as you'll see right here. It's a 30-year fix, so there's no adjustment to the interest rate. Back to this payment here and talking a little bit more about it, you'll see that you have property homeowners insurance that you'll pick on your own, and property taxes, which are based on the county. The principal and interest is based on the interest rate that the down payment assistance has at that given time. So they do govern the interest rate on their program. And then you have the mortgage insurance. And again, this is our risk factor. And that's where you come up with the total payment of $29.81. Considering in this marketplace, rents are roughly averaging about $2,500. So you're getting in just a little bit above what market rents are right now. And then on top of your down payment, you do have your closing costs and your prepaid items. And those prepaid items are basically the startup costs for your county taxes and insurance, as well as prepaid interest and your first year's homeowner's insurance. The closing costs are a little bit longer, and what they entail is you have that mortgage insurance premium, which is financed in. So it's not necessarily a cost that you're coming to closing with, but it is shown as a number that you need to be aware of. So then you negate that from this just to get your net figure. And you'll see that your net figure is just about $7,800 for closing costs. And that includes appraisal, credit report, recording fees. It does have an origination fee for the down payment assistance fund, and that's based on your base loan amount. And then it has title fees. So that all totals up. These two carry over to your total cost here. And again, we take your total cost with your purchase price less your total loan amount, and that's where we come up with the $10,277. Is it a good idea to do a DPA?
There are different types of down payment assistance. and definitely pros and cons when it comes to each. With the down payment assistance program, that's a grant. That's going to be the most ideal situation because you're getting some free money.
Grant money was fabulous. We loved it. But we're seeing that it's just becoming few and far between as far as if some of the down payment assistant companies are keeping it.
But with like this one where you have a silent second, you just really what you have to be mindful of is how long you're planning on being in this home. If you're caught in a situation where you do have to sell this home after a year, after 2 years, before you've built up enough equity to pay off that $15,710 silent second, you could very well find yourself in the red.
Because again, the silent second does have to be repaid, but it has a 0% interest rate, so there's no payment on it. But with this in mind, we take a look at that. We take a look at where we might be, and if this is a longer term loan, then we take a look at, hey, we have that silent second there that we need to pay off, and let's do a refi and let's maybe get it off and pay it off sooner than later, so we don't have to worry about it down the road that, oh, I forgot there is a silent second that we still have to consider when we're selling the house. And the DPA I see as a positive too, because again, life has its moments, and sometimes the savings that goals that you have might not be coming quickly enough. And so the down payment assistance is right there for you. It's not something that is critiqued too quick, too much. They do have income level variations on it. And they also have criteria on ratios. But other than that, you can usually get into down payment assistance with not owning a home for 3 years or just recently owning a home, and you can get into a different down payment assistance program. But getting into that house and starting just to develop that equity position and develop your state of when you started to own the house is such a win-win.
Mortgage insurance feeds into a lot of the myths when it comes to down payment, how much you need to come with, just because a lot of people are trying to avoid the PMI. But that doesn't mean that you have to save up that full 20% to get into a home. It's a little added extra cost, but looking at the difference in time from getting into a home with the down payment assistance versus waiting that whole time to save up that 20% down, there's a lot of equity that you're losing out on.
That's a great comment. And again, it's one of those myths that even though down payment assistance and mortgage insurance seem to be more of a negative word at times for people, the assistance is out there. The assistance is for some homebuyers. It's for people that have had a home in the past. There's a lot of different programs out there to help just get into a house. And it used to be one of those myths that, oh, don't get mortgage insurance, you need to put 20% down. Well, right now, mortgage insurance is helping many thousands of homeowners get into homes. And it doesn't mean that the mortgage insurance is going to stay on the mortgage the whole life of the loan. That's the biggest thing. We get into the house, and as you saw from the numbers, you start to grow your equity position. Well, that in turn helps you diminish the need for mortgage insurance because you're getting to a level of loan to value with your mortgage and the equity that you might not need the mortgage insurance. And I've helped many a client after a year take a look at values. The value's there. Let's see if we can have the servicer remove the insurance, the mortgage insurance premium that you pay monthly for free, or do we need to do a refinance? We can always get out of the loan. The loan is set for the beginning, but if rates improve and you want to go with a lower rate, and at the same time, the equity position's there, we can get rid of the mortgage insurance. So with the rent to own section, what we're looking at here is if you looked at that same scenario with your closing costs and renting for $2,500, you would be on year 2 already seeing some equity gain. You're buying the house for $400,000. And in the marketplace that we're seeing in the Denver metro area, you're seeing a good increase. And just speaking a little bit about equity gain, are you seeing that come through as far as the percentages people are using in this industry to take a look at this equity gain situation?
Yeah, that's a pretty standard rate. I think it's conservative for what we've seen here in the past 9 years for sure.
Well, and what I wanted to showcase is that year one is basically because you closed and you have your closing costs and all of that scheme. But year two is your start of your improvements, of being in the house, getting used to things, and you already start to see some appreciation. And then it continues on and on and on and on. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that in looking at that and your payments compared to 2,500, you're still at a better place overall, because not only do you have ultimate cash flow difference, but you also have appreciation. If you think about, if you have the security deposit going in, your first month's the rent, if you're just talking a lot about that, you're talking maybe $5,000 right there, and then 2,500. And with a mortgage, you skip the first month. So when you close and you skip that first month, depending on timing, that's $7,500 based on this, as opposed to getting into property for $10,000 too. You're not that far away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Beverly, taking the time to help educate my sphere, my people, and really unveiling the mystery that surrounds what it actually takes. What am I actually spending my money on, and what are the options out there for me? I think this gives a great picture of how quickly can I get into a single family home.
Nope, I love it. And again, we are here for you, and we want to make sure that this is a exciting yet smooth process for everyone. So
thank you, Beverly. Can't wait to continue this series and get into some more creative situations and scenarios